Hello, everyone. I'm Katie Fernholz with Dovetail Partners. It's my pleasure to represent the steering committee and the advisory council and provide you an update on the business of the Women's Forest Congress. I hope you have been enjoying today's gathering and the chance to connect and tell stories. I am going to cover four things. First and foremost, our strategic plan. That's the center of everything, and our leadership events. And of course, our declaration kind of nests within the strategic plan. So following the event in October, the steering committee and the advisory council pulled together a strategic plan for 2023. Our plan includes three goals: implementing our 2022 Women's Forest Congress declaration and call to action, continuing to build our community, and formalizing and organizing the structure of the Women's Forest Congress. Those are our three overall goals. And the graphic on the right side of this slide is intended to illustrate how these goals fit together. And the takeaway is that all of our work is nested within the context of our declaration and the call to action, which provide guidance and a roadmap for what we undertake to build community and develop our organizational structure. To talk about leadership of the Women's Forest Congress, first and foremost is an opportunity to thank the people that have contributed to the Women's Forest Congress over the last few years. For the last few years, members of our steering committee and our advisory council have been focused on supporting success of the event we held last October. At the end of 2022, a number of people rolled off of these leadership groups, they ended their service, or they've changed their involvement. And so we want to thank Lauren, Alicia, Asia, Ara, Rita, Becky, Mary Kate, Deb, Jessica, Deb, Andrea, and Tanya for everything they've contributed in their leadership roles on the steering committee and the advisory council over the last several years. Thank you. This is the roster for our current leadership as we go into 2023. Some of our leaders, as I said, have moved into new roles. So some past steering committee members are now on the advisory council and vice versa. So we have some real good, I think, cross-learning between these leadership teams. Also, with this new roster list, there are 3 open seats on both of these leadership teams. So in the coming weeks, the steering committee, with support from the advisory council, will be rolling out an application and nomination process for filling these seats on our leadership teams. So please watch for that, and we look forward to adding to new leadership to the Women's Forest Congress. The next item I want to touch base on in terms of what we're doing this year are our events. The steering committee, as part of our goal of building community, we have identified dates for quarterly virtual events throughout the year. Just like today's event, all of these events will be centered around the ideas and priorities identified in our declaration. So today was about storytelling, and we would welcome your ideas about what you would like to see us highlight in future events. Please mark your calendars and save the dates for these events. Speaking of our declaration, the steering committee and advisory council have begun to identify some ideas for the next steps in the actions we want to take to see impact from our declaration. We will finalize and roll out these ideas once we have filled out the leadership, the open seats within our leadership teams, and we will also include input from the new members of our leadership teams, your input and ideas, and we'll be seeking your participation in those actions as well. Of course, the full copy of our declaration is available at the Women's Forest Congress website, and you can access it with that QR code as well. As I mentioned, all of our work this year is within the context of our declaration and the call to action that it contains. The full declaration, as well as these 10 action items, provide a roadmap for us to work individually and in partnership to create the change that is needed. In the coming months, the steering committee will be rolling out structures for supporting these actions and measuring our impact. We also invite you to follow your own heart and take action within this roadmap we have created together to realize impact where you have opportunity. You can share your ideas, activities, and stories with us at our email address through the website, info@womensforestcongress.org. So thank you. I hope this brief update on the business of the Women's Forest Congress has provided helpful insight into our strategic plan, our leadership team, our community building events this year, and our focus on creating change and impact through our declaration and call to action. Thank you for being part of today's gathering and the vision of the Women's Forest Congress.